Happy New Year! Welcome to
I nearly said sports bouncing.
Well, she thinks she's on the sports bouncing Prosecco. No, honey, it's the
Welcome to
breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
We've got a lovely guest.
Mel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Mel, and I'm really glad to be part of the breakthrough.
How was your Christmas, ladies?
I went to Margate, lovely little cottage, 4 days by the sea, coastal. It was lovely. It was so nice just to be out of London.
Yeah,
You
I can
know?
imagine.
Yeah, Christmas was good. It was obviously
Busy.
with family. It was kind of busy. Yeah, we kind of do 2 Christmases, so
Oh yeah, of course, with V's
that
family.
was all great.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. And you, Lou, did you have a full house?
As per usual, yeah.
As per usual,
I'm
the usual
knackered.
crew.
I'm absolutely shattered. But you know what? We thank God for the blessing of being able to be shattered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We thank God for seeing on 2026
That's it.
because
Not
many
for
didn't
everybody.
make it, right? So very grateful for that. And here's 2026 and all the greatness that's to come. So,
So we're going to give you a little background on. I'll tell you how I'll let you go into how you know Mel. Then I'll say how I know Mel.
So I know Mel through my ex-partner. That's because that's his sister, his beautiful sister, who's now my sister too, and a friend. So yeah, that's how I know Mel. And we also do the sports podcast together. But she is just. There's layers to this woman. Layers.
Full of energy.
She's a beautiful soul, intelligent, smart, funny, love a chat. So we thought we'd get her on here to share a bit of her story.
I know surface, as I was telling V before, I know like surface level of your story. Only mostly from what I see of you, more than anything you potentially told me. Every time you tell me something, I'm always like, really? Is it? Remember, I'm always like,
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what I know of you is really surface. But how I know you is I know you through Clara, through her ex-partner. And I think years ago, Nala was just born and we came to your house for barbecue.
That's right.
We talk about that day till this day.
yeah.
We've never had jerk that good.
Yeah.
To this day, we talk about your jerk chicken.
That's what you know what you got to do this summer. We've got. In fact, I have to say, just to add, this summer we've got to do better with barbecues.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Because we were so rubbish last year.
Yeah, but we didn't really have the weather.
No.
Or did we?
Did we?
We did, didn't we?
We did.
Kinda.
We did.
We
We
did have
did.
enough.
We did. We did have good weather. This year we're going to be more intentional with those things.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. So sorry. That's all I wanted to say was the barbecue bit. Back to you, Lou.
Right. So Mel, tell us a little bit about yourself. Start from who you are now. Who's Mel? Who's your family?
I'm 56 this year.
Right. Can we just take a moment?
yeah,
Did you hear that? 56.
Yeah, this year.
Are you kidding me?
No, for real.
I thought you was 50
I'm
something.
a 70s baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, born
You
1970.
look so good, Mel.
Yeah. Born in Hackney, East London.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Born in a
know
hospital
that.
that no longer exists.
Oh.
Yeah, mothers. For all you older heads out there. And then moved up to Tottenham.
Yep.
How old did you move to Tottenham?
Oh God,
Quite
I
young,
was
or-
up. Well, actually, moved to Wood Green. I was probably about. We bought the house when I was 7. Moved in officially when I was about 9.
Okay, so you had a bit of time in Hackney.
Yeah, and then I spent a year in Jamaica when I was about 11, 12. Went to women's prep school over there. Then
Was that a choice or?
No, that wasn't a choice. That was mum wanted to go for a year, so we went. I got one brother who with my mum, and so we went over for the year, and then came back, and I went to a school called Greycoats when I got back when I was about 12, 13, which is in lower schools in St James's Park,
Is it still
upper
there,
schools.
or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I went to school, went to college. Yeah, I think, that's
What
it.
do you do for a living?
So I work in mental health. I work with addictions and people who struggle with personality disorders, generally. But by trade, I'm a therapist.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
So this post, I've been there since 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 11 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Long time.
Yeah.
Wow. And so what made you weren't
And
always
in total, how long have you been a therapist? How long have you been in this type of work?
Oh gosh, probably since 2003.
How did that come about?
You know what? Perfect, because that's exactly where I was going to go with that question. How did you end up doing what
Right,
you're
so
doing?
when I finished college at 19, could have gone to university, decided didn't want to go to university. I wanted to go to the School of Life and got a job at BT. Started off as an operator and then went from that to something called video conferencing, became a supervisor, then went on to become a computer engineer.
Oh, wow.
Used to build computers, used to build networks, fireworks, all of that sort of stuff.
Okay, well.
Then
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm telling you, intelligent woman. I mean, I didn't even know that much of it, but yeah.
And
then
then
you worked at BT.
Yeah. And then in 2000, earned shed loads of money.
That's it.
Worked abroad for a bit with the company and stuff like that. And then in 2000, was bored. No longer wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Didn't quite know what I wanted to do. And towards the end of BT, I started doing mentoring. So I was mentoring young people that had been excluded from school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or trying to keep them in school.
Right. And where would you do that?
I would do that in Haringey. And what you'd do is you'd meet them like in coffee shops or whatever and just kind of mentor them, coach them, trying to get them.
Was that attached to BT or was that completely separate?
Something different.
completely
'Cause I just wanted to do something different and really quite enjoyed it. So I took redundancy in 2000, got a job with a company, I don't know if it's there now, called Mainliners, which was a drug service, but they had a young person service. So I used to go into schools, do drug lessons, youth clubs, used to drive a ambulance that would do needle exchange.
Oh, wow.
And have doctors in there. So it was quite fun, really. Did
I knew you would say that.
Right,
even set up a community centre for working women. So it was a safe place for working women to come and they could get checked by doctors and nurses. There was books, they could just chill.
How did you get into that?
Just kind of knew a man who had a charity and said, come along. So I started off volunteering and then, so that was fun. But then about a year in, I decided actually what I really wanted to do was not work with young people. I wanted to work with people that were slightly older, that were more, who probably perhaps more were prepared to have a change. They'd been through their drug using career. So then I moved into working with adults. Hence I find myself, did my courses.
How long's the training?
So it was about, 18 grand, 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to a private college.
Yeah.
And so loads of volunteer work as well to get all my hours up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
You're really committed to it.
yeah. And it's something that I enjoy. And so what I used to do is work strictly with, really, I was a drug counsellor, a drug therapist. So I worked in the GP surgery for a long time and worked with people that really struggled with addictions. I really, really enjoy it. Really, really did. And this job is slightly different because it's much more mental health based.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I really, really enjoy as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. And then you said you've been at your present role, for 11 years.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what's your, not why, it sounds rude, but the preference of the people that you've chosen over children? What was
I
the...
think at the time, the organisation that I was at, it was allowing them, which is, I think is right, allowing them to be. So there wasn't really the encouragement of, the encouragement was really around what we call substitute prescribing. So if you're taking heroin, you can have methadone, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
What I really wanted to get involved with is people that wanted to make a change.
Right.
Okay.
Getting them into rehab,
Right.
getting them into
Getting off the
detox.
stuff completely.
Bettering their lives.
Really working to see changes. And I worked with, and they say you work with people and there will be people that leave like little scars that you always remember. And there's 3, I think, that I remember that made me really, really, really want to do this work.
Can you tell us about one of them?
And so one was a young lady, black lady, and she had, her life had been pretty difficult, been raped, and she was drinking really, really heavily. And we were working together. We worked together for years. Eventually she stopped drinking, got a job,
Amazing.
blah, blah, blah. But I think what it was that I remember is she wrote me a letter. One of the first things she said to me is, because when I started, there wasn't many black therapists, right? There wasn't many black people in my
so back in then.
And I remember her looking at me saying, I don't see people like me. How did you do this? How did you get here?
Wow.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah, that
and
is
then
a
when
wow.
we finished working, she wrote me a letter. And in the letter, one of the things that I remember her saying is, your mum must be so proud of the work that you do. And I think,
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a black guy that was on crack, and we worked together for years, and he stopped, and he was just another one that I remember. Who perhaps didn't see that his life could change completely, and it did. And so that was
what pushed
that's
you.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
So let's talk a bit more about you growing up, kind of things. Obviously, you said you grew up predominantly in Wood Green. Wood Green.
Yeah.
No, this whole time I thought you was a Tottenham girl.
No. So a lot of my family live in Tottenham, but I was just on the backside because I always like think I'm slightly snobby. I mean, all green stuff to be snobby about now, but back then it was.
It was so true.
So I was
so
like,
true.
I'm not quite in Tottenham.
No, Wood
I
Green
mean,
was a
Ali
whole lot.
was.
Yeah.
Now it's just like Tottenham. God, the Wood Green, they're all dives. Respectfully.
So I mean, often when we do our other podcasts, you'll mention growing up in the 70s, 80s, and some of the abuse that you were privy to. Because I honestly can't say. I say it's an autism. I've never had first-hand racial abuse. I say that all the time, but often you'll contradict me. So tell me a bit about that growing up.
Gosh, I think there's one. So obviously, the school that I went to, right? So lower school had 300 and odd kids. Upper school was like 400 and odd kids, and there were 10 black people. 10 black kids,
Wow.
So that's all I need to say. Yeah.
And that's in Wood Green.
This is in Sloane Square. This because I never went to school where I lived.
Darling.
Yeah.
Again,
So,
Mum was just like,
Mum's like,
she wanted to do the best for me.
Yeah.
So, and you got to travel through, and you get. I mean, I was never. A lot of it was a bit kind of you couldn't quite be sure because they didn't outright call you, the N word.
What we would call microaggressions now, I guess.
Be
right?
like, but when you're a kid, you're like, I know you don't like me.
Is it from adults or is it from children?
So
I wouldn't imagine kids are very good at being
actually
innuendo.
Mostly from adults. To be fair, but that's because, to be fair, me and my mates at school, we would fight.
That's it.
So no one really wanted to trouble us.
Yeah.
And we just hung around together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
That's deplorable that it's adults.
And then I can remember when working at BT and sitting with my colleagues. We was outside a pub, and a guy walked past and he turned around and he goes, "Me fucking nigger, take my job, got all my." And I turned around to my colleagues. First thing I said to them is, "Did you hear that?" And they went, "No." Right. And I'm sitting there. I was drinking a bottle of beer, but because I said, "Did you hear that?" And he said it again. No. And they couldn't deny it this time because he said it again. And they were all looking at him now. And I'd eased the bottle into my hand. I was just going to throw it at him. I don't even know where it was hit me. I was just going to throw it at him and say, "Fuck off." Because I wasn't really that bothered, to be honest. Because I was like, actually, maybe I have got your job. I'm what? Sorry. Do I look bothered? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, no.
And they said to me, "Leave it, Mel." And I was like, "You know what?
But not when
I don't feel like any of you lot is going to have my back
Anyway.
So actually, maybe I will just leave it.
Yeah.
I'm not with my people.
Yeah.
And that's probably the real. I've had it where I'll be walking behind someone in my school uniform and they grab hold of their bag and they draw to the side.
It's ridiculous.
And that kind of thing. And that was regular. Or going into a shop and being followed. And having to tell the security guard, "Yo, brethren, that man just stole something." And
But you're watching me.
But you're watching me.
Yeah.
And I think that happens now. I don't know for you, but I know I've walked in shops now when it's like security man is looking. You get that.
I don't notice it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I don't notice it. I live in Cloud Lululand, so.
No, I've experienced racial to my face, but when I worked
it's only one time I can say it, and I was in Coach in Westfield, and I said it. I'm going to say Coach in Westfield, and I'm just looking around, just looking back, and the security guard was following me around. I'm like, "Sir, I walked in here with a Chanel handbag. You're following me around the store looking at Coach, sir, please."
Yeah. So it still happens.
And I think what it does do is it made you really kind of hyper vigilant.
Okay.
So growing up in the 70s and 80s, I was hyper vigilant to anything and
the NS
anyone.
were quite
I think
prominent then as well, wasn't it? National Front.
Not so much where we live.
No, that's true. Yes, I remember you saying that, Lou. I remember saying East,
Southeast.
Yeah.
But not really, no.
No, not so much. And I guess let me rephrase that. Exactly. I didn't mean so much in Wood Green. What I meant was it was a general thing of, because let's say you go out with your friends, right? You go to a certain area.
I remember I grew up when Stephen Lawrence was killed, yeah?
There you go.
Yeah, he was roughly the same age as me.
Yeah.
Damn. I know his godmother.
Yeah.
So, we, these things leave And I wouldn't even want to tell you the amount of my friends that I know that are dead because of the police, right? Or I remember I went to college with a girl and her brother got picked up on Oxford Street by the police. Then they used to come in their vans and they put him in the back of the van, and the first kick he got, 4 of his front teeth come out.
Oh my God.
And he had done nothing. So, you know, we kind of, and that was our reality back then.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not even like now where you've got loads of groups and, you know, people with phone cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah,
We had
filming. No,
nothing.
you
You just-
didn't.
just-
Absolutely. Yeah.
I remember my friend that got killed when the police took him to after they finished beating him.
The same one with the front teeth. Oh,
The
another
first
one.
hospital they took him to, the hospital declined him. They said, we're not taking him in after you've done this to him.
But that doesn't help.
Yeah, well, he was pretty much dead anyway.
Does
Oh
he,
my
does he have mental health
days.
issues? So I'm just thinking if it's a certain story I'm thinking of. No.
Did he? He probably did have mental health issues. Yeah. So
Yeah, that would have been something. That would have been tough growing up in them times. There, I mean, we deal with, as we say, racism now, but on them levels there where you've got no camera, where it's not so much you can film somebody and
then they
call
can
them
tell
out,
you-
or
they can tell you whatever they want. I think
And-
the first time I got arrested, it was because
First time, Mel.
well, I got only twice.
what for? What was the first time for?
It was for abusing a police officer because he got me upset.
Because you got your
They're not omnipotent. I mean, unless you said something threatening, you shouldn't be arrested.
Well, they they didn't say. Well, what he did is he told me to fuck off, and I said to him, "You're
So
not
he
allowed.
started it?
You're not allowed to tell me that."
Yeah.
My first words were, but he thought I was ignorant because though I had a really good job at BT,
Yeah.
I had like 3 different colours in my hair, and you know,
Yeah,
I was always,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
always
yeah,
quite
yeah,
elaborate.
yeah,
So
yeah,
making
most-
assumptions
Most
about
people
you.
just looked at me and
Yes,
went, "All right."
absolutely.
And so he
Judging
said,
the book by its cover.
Yeah, and he said to me, and I said to him, "You can't say that to me." I said to him, "You're not allowed to swear at me." And he said to me, "Well, I can do what I want." And I said, "But I can report you." And what upset me is when I said to him, he was plain clothed, and I said to him, "I can report you, so I want your name and your badge number."
Yeah.
And he said to me, "What's the point? Because no one's going to believe you." And I turned around and I said to him, "You better fucking arrest me then, you cunt, because I'll pay your wages." And I just went to town. I just cussed him till he arrested me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn, that's ego though, because me cussing you don't mean nothing sticks.
No,
and
but
stones
he
and
was
all
very
that.
upset.
Yeah, because this is the thing.
But
Exactly.
still, being
right?
upset is not a just cause to arrest
Yeah.
me.
Wow. No, it's not. But this is it. The power. They think that you've got the power, the uniform,
And
the
ego
badge,
kicks
right?
in so much.
Absolutely. And then
And also underestimating,
Your understanding
You,
of
my
your
understanding
rights.
of the law.
Yeah.
because when he arrested me, as soon as he arrested me, I was like, fine. And they took me in, and when they took me out the cells, because they kept me there for a couple of hours to calm me down, the desk sergeant sort of said to me, right, because I came out and I just said, I want to make a complaint.
And how old were you around this
I was
time?
19.
Okay.
I said, I want to make a
So they're
complaint.
underestimating you because your age as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
And they're like, no, well, I tell you what, if you don't make a complaint, all I'll do is give you a caution.
I don't want to caution.
I said to him, it's fine, give me the caution. It's all right, give me the caution, right? Because I was abusive.
Mhm.
yeah.
So give me the caution.
I'll say that.
Right? And I walked out the back entrance, straight round to the front entrance, said, I want to make a complaint.
That's it.
Right? When I finished making my complaint, I got a letter of apology. And I got a letter because I said I want it on his report. I want it on his file.
Yeah,
And I
love
want
that.
a copy of that.
Yeah.
And I got a copy of his file to show that it was when there. Yeah.
You see, when you know you're,
When you know, isn't it?
you know what, you know your
Knowledge is
rights.
power.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I also knew that I was abusive and I was shouting. So give me the caution.
Yeah, I'll
Caution
take
ain't gonna
that.
do me nothing.
I think it's caution.
Exactly.
What 6 months, 6 years later, that's come on.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on a little bit to you.
Teenager growing up.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to jump back to
Yeah.
jump forward, just
Cool.
from what I do know of your
Cool.
story. So you are married to the lovely Vanessa who's here.
Yes, my
Yes,
wife
we
is
got-
over there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Tell me
Married
about how you met.
7
Oh,
years?
yes.
8 years this year?
Mel and I got married in the same year.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got to marry in the same year. So tell me
yeah.
about how you guys met.
So, so
I
so
remember
we
the
met
story.
at, we met at it was a night, it was a function. I'd been at a friend's house, we'd come meet some of my friends, and I had a lodger at the time, and he was there.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'm in this club, and you know, I'm kind of jamming and walking around and whatever, and then his name was David. He said to me, Mel, I think there's a girl that likes you, you know. So turned around and there was Vanessa. So I was like, and he's like, buy her a drink. I was like, all right. Do you want a drink? Yes. And we had a bit of a chat and we exchanged numbers. And then we had a bit of contact. You by phone or text or whatever. And then she, to be fair, at the time there were things going on for her, and she sort of said to me, look, I really haven't got the space for this. So as I say, she said to me, don't call me, I'll call you. And that was that.
How'd you say that?
Don't call me.
No, but how did you take that?
I was like, taking the piss. Because I got a bit of an ego. How dare you?
I know.
Yeah. I was a bit like, cheek.
Have you seen me, woman?
Yeah. So I was like, fine, it's all right, it's cool. All right. And then, so after that, so a few months later, me and a friend of mine, we went to a bar in Soho, and I'd got a drink and I was sat down and saw Vanessa. Didn't say anything though, because
You're just airing her, playing it cool.
Yeah. And then she came up and she sat beside me. Still wasn't saying nothing. I was like, oh. And she was like, hi, Mel. I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, so you remember my name? I'm like, you're
Mel's
right.
in her feeling.
Yeah. I'm like, you're
Have
right.
you told her this? Does she know all of this?
Yeah, pretty much. And then we had a bit of a chat. And then I can't remember if we was going to go or she was going to go. And he was like, anyway, I'm going to go now. And she was like, oh, I'll call you. And I was like, if you've got my number, because I'm not giving it to you again. Yeah. But she did have my number. And
you was in your feels, boy.
yeah. And he was like, oh, here you go. I was like, cheek.
Sorry.
And here we are. Yeah.
So you've been married, is it 9 years? Is it 9 years this year?
Yes, 9 years this year, yeah.
But
9
together,
years.
how long?
Oh, 15? Yeah, about 15 years.
I love when she says that. How old am I?
Yeah, there you go.
It's just it. Mel's got herself a young thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So how have you guys, and you guys got a lovely daughter, how have you guys found navigating that societally? In your family, in fact.
So, I don't know whether there's been any difficulty navigating. Actually, it's been a lot, I think a lot more, it's been a lot more easier than I thought it would have been navigating, going to school with 2 or sometimes 3 parents, because sometimes their dad will come along and there'll be 3 of us.
Yeah.
Right? Parents evening, there's 3 of us sitting in little chairs. And all that sort of stuff. And actually that part's been cool in terms of schools have been good.
Yeah. Have you ever had to have a conversation with the school, like sit them down and explain the situation? Or is it like, you know what, this is who we are, take us as you see us?
Yeah, no, we've never really explained anything. And to be fair, again, they've been okay. I don't think we've really experienced any difficulties. I think.
Would you agree with that? Yeah.
I think maybe there was a point where Davina, when she was younger, it was a bit like, I think she was like, why can't I have a normal family? But that's also understandable.
Was there anything going on at school that made her feel like that? What, friends or anything like that?
I think, well, as we know now, our daughter has autism. And so she probably was experiencing feelings of feeling a bit different.
And not knowing what it is.
And wanting to be part of.
Yeah.
So I think now we know it makes a lot more sense where she's trying to just be.
So I'm just trying to dig into
different.
Nobody made her feel like her home situation.
You know,
actually,
people
what kids are like, innit?
You know what
kids
got
are like.
2 months or whatever,
and
that
often
type of
people
vibe.
repeat what they hear their parents.
Exactly.
I think Davina's been really lucky. Her friends that she's chosen have always been
good people.
Well, one of the things we've always done is try to bring her up to be the most unjudgmental.
Good.
You just take people as people. We're all humans.
Yeah.
So whatever race, whatever weight, whatever size, whatever, we don't be judgeful.
Yeah.
So because of that, her friends have always been kind of okay.
Okay.
Like, so she's never experienced that. Her friends have always been sort of a bit like her. They're fine. They don't. And as far as we know, the friends' families have been okay.
Excellent.
So they've let their children stay over. Whatever. So we've not really had to navigate.
Good.
Which is great. But you guys are great. And like you said, and I think don't judge people you take people for who you are, and you guys are great people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're genuinely,
agree.
do you know what I mean? as in just as human beings, as individuals, you're together. It's like, well, yeah, great family, you know, great morals, great values, and yeah. So,
do you also think it's a sign of the times? Like, do you know what I mean? As in, you guys got married at the right time.
I think so. I think when I came out as gay,
I was just going to say, did you touch on that?
It was very much different to how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I think now, and we have been very selective in our chosen family, who we've chosen as our family.
I love that.
So because of that, all of our family are an extension of how we are.
Yeah.
There we go.
So we don't experience that.
And
there you go.
That selectivity, is that based on the fact you're trying to protect your family unit, or is that just who you are anyway, just quite selective about who's around you?
I think part of it's who I am. I've always been like, I can remember my 40th birthday. If you attended, you would have seen a range of people. They were white, they were Asian, they were Chinese, they were gay. You know, I didn't think I really knew.
No, we didn't know each other.
No, was it
I wasn't invited.
No, wait. Sorry. What was the big
40th.
part? Yeah, but what was the big part you had at your house?
That was my 40th.
Well, I was there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
There was a range of people.
You did lose weight. Sorry.
Oh.
So can we stop?
Maybe I didn't know you well.
Interesting.
But anyway,
Pause. Wait, let's deep into this a little bit second.
40.
So this is after, was this before or after that barbecue? Because this is
before, way before the barbecue.
You're lucky.
Yeah, way before the barbecue. Yeah.
It was a wicked party. It was a great party at your house.
You said that quick way.
Yeah.
But
there was
if you
a
look at
range
the
of people. Yeah.
There's a range of people, from gay people to heterosexual people, from white people to black people to Asian people. So I've always held an eclectic kind of stance around French.
From work, life, where's that cultivated from?
Actually, I think when I've really kind of reflected, I think it's cultivated from the fact that I was gay and I didn't know I was gay.
Ooh.
So I've always been quite open to people because I think there was a part of me that knew that I needed to be, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. I think really, when I look back at it, I was never someone that felt that things should be in boxes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Like that.
Makes total sense.
Let's explore that a little bit more. Because you're probably the first person I've heard who said, I was gay and I didn't know I was gay. Because a lot of people will tell you, no, you know who you are. It's just who you are. It's how you're born, da-da-da-da. And I've always... I'm going to say I'm ignorant here, kind of thing. I've always been of the fact that everybody knows. That if you're gay, you know.
I'm with you, Lou, on that.
So
I think this is not to say that I wasn't born gay. This is me saying I didn't know I was gay because the feelings that I had no explanation for it. I had no, I knew nobody.
You had no point of reference.
I had nothing, right? So,
is that because of the black community as well?
I think society. I think society as a whole,
because I think
then the black community within society as a whole, would have had a part to play in it. So you ask me now, and I can look back and I can say to you, "Oh my God, I now can identify when I was 7 or 6 having feelings about women. I had no idea what that was."
But also, of course, because you're young. 7, right? Exactly.
Right. So that's why I'm saying I had no. Right.
So that means you dated men. Yeah.
Loads of them.
Sorry. Melanie said loads of them.
Yeah. I was pretty awful to them too.
Well.
Chief and mean, keen, and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me how you navigated from... Wait, when did you come out of the closet? Tell me all of that.
So I kind of started to hesitantly come out of my closet probably my 20s.
Okay.
Right.
So you started to clock it.
So I'd already kind of clocked it.
So how old were you when you clocked it?
Probably late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
But anywhere between... All right, so I'd left BT. So early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I hadn't left BT. Yeah, so definitely early 20s.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And in the years... Okay, so what age were you when you started dating? Do you remember?
What?
Boys, just in general.
Oh my God, I think my first, if you like, boyfriend would have been, God, I was young. I was
pretty, Have you ever seen pictures of her as a little girl?
I think she's pretty nice. I
know she is, but
I
would have been I don't know, 11, 12, really
Yeah,
quite young.
those are
First
your
kind of boyfriend, but it wasn't really doing anything.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in your teens, okay, forget the 11, like you said, that's too young, whatever. But as you got older, what age did you stop dating men? What age were you when you the last guy you dated?
Can I just take it one more step?
Go on, Lou.
Backwards. So were you ever attracted to men?
Well,
just
not really.
We'll let you answer both of those, I guess.
Not really. So,
okay.
So
I
you
suppose
just
any guy that kind of showed interest, I'd kind of just go with it because I didn't.
And I think a lot of women were like, I was like that when I was
Yeah, I
younger.
didn't
Yeah,
really
and I
have a
said this,
physical.
I think-
I didn't have a type.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started dating women and I introduced them to a friend. My friend goes, "I'm so glad your taste in women is better than your taste in women." Sorry. Yeah.
me hearing your missus here. Well, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've not known Mel I've only ever known Mel dating
adult.
women. So when
Oh,
you've
okay.
officially, because it was your first Shelley, whatever.
No, it was.
No, that I
it was,
knew
Yeah,
you
so
from.
there's a girl that I dated before H.
Okay.
We dated for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and was that your first girlfriend?
That would be my first girlfriend.
And
Yeah.
how old were you then? Do you remember?
God, maybe 20.
You're in your
Somewhere
20s.
between 24 and 26. Can't quite
Okay.
remember the
Yeah,
exact
that's fine. You don't have
Okay.
It's difficult to remember, I
So
think.
let's just skip
To
back a little bit.
pinpoint,
So
yeah.
we were talking about when you came out. I want to talk about the realization. I want to hear in your words because I think it's going to help so many people what that realization looks like for you.
So so there was a couple of things, right? So in my late teens, the first thing was that I realized that I hadn't slept with a man sober.
Wow.
Yeah, and I slept with quite a few men. So the whole liver was taking a bit of hammering.
yeah. Because it's
And I was like, I can't keep
for
doing
me
this.
to do this.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an
Yeah.
interesting insight
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. So right.
Well,
so
right, yeah.
before we go there, so I spent 8 years in therapy.
Thanks, Mel.
So there was a lot of things that became a realization during that period,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one of them was actually this drinking is getting a bit out of hand,
Okay.
right? And then we started exploring that.
Mhm.
And then the more I explored, the more I recognized, actually, do you know what? This is really odd. I've never, right, okay, so what does that mean? Okay.
Mhm.
And then actually, I've got some good friends and I was able to
Have
talk
conversations. Yeah.
conversation with them. And I think one of the things actually that had always been a fantasy had been dating women. And they were like, well, why don't you go and figure it out then? And I was like, actually, do
I
you
like
know
that your
what?
friends said that to you though.
Mate,
Yeah,
support
yeah.
system.
And I-
try and-
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? So that was then the last time I kind of dated men.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, obviously, your mum doesn't know.
No. And then my cousin, I was like, I want to go to a gay club. I want to. So then.
When
off
you
we were.
say cousin, do you mean G?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then he took me out. And so a lot of my gay friends are all males.
Did he know?
I think he suspected.
Okay.
I think a lot
would love to
of
sit down
people
with him.
suspected,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they would say that I'm a tomboy,
Yeah.
right? But there's only so long you can be a tomboy,
Mm.
Yeah.
True.
right? You
Yeah,
can't be
true.
a tomboy when you're a woman.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
And I never wore dresses. In fact, I became bridesmaid for most of my best friends because they wanted me in a dress.
Right.
Wicked.
In all
Yeah.
these years I've known you, I've
Yeah.
never seen you in a dress.
And I can remember the last time I wore a dress, I must have been I was 7 or 9.
Wow.
And I was going to a wedding. My mum bought me this frock. And I cried. I don't want to wear a dress. Mum said, but you have to wear the dress. And that was the last time I ever wore a dress. Right? So I think if you are really kind of honest,
Mm-hmm.
the signs have been there
Always
from...
there. Yeah.
This is not some sort of shocking
Yeah.
revelation.
Yeah.
Right? All my friends were always men.
Okay. But nobody, as in you came to the realization yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one planting the seeds.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
planting
yeah,
the seeds.
yeah.
I think it's really important that you come to those kind of realizations without
Yeah.
a push.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Do you know what I mean?
It was a lot of
Or pressure.
work on myself
Yeah.
to change a lot of the bad habits that I had.
Mhm.
And I had to do for another story, I've got a lot of trauma as well, and that had to be dealt with.
I think we're going to have a part 2
I
of
think we're
this.
gonna have to, yeah.
And so, and in dealing with that, and in changing a lot of the bad habits, also, and a lot of the bad habits was based around me denying who I was at the time, and so finding it very difficult to live. If you can't live an open and authentic
That
life,
must be so
then you
difficult.
damage yourself. Right. So that was part of what was happening. Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah, I know obviously that you had your, took drugs, whatever, but did that happen
Before you found out?
Would you think that played a part, not knowing, also being stuck in this, who am I? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
A lot of what I did was all about me not being honest
with
myself.
Yeah, first and foremost,
so essentially not being happy.
Yeah. So you find, is it a form of, you can completely throw this down and say no, but do you think it's a form of self-harm?
Interesting question.
Well, I suppose any harmful behaviour is a form of self-harm, isn't it? And all of that was harmful.
And do you think coming to the realisation and stepping into your authentic self was that almost helped you to move on from those behaviours? Yeah.
But a lot of things that I was doing stopped.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What, the moment you realised that
once I decided I was gonna actually, do you know what? Because at this point I'm having to say, it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter if I lose all my friendships. It doesn't matter if I lose my family. I grew up in a family and in an environment where the homophobia was real.
So it was a genuine
I can remember watching them. I can remember being in Jamaica and watching them stone men.
Wow.
Right? So this is what I grew up with.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And so I reckon I also had internalized homophobia.
Absolutely. Makes sense again.
Right? Because...
I
was one of those people that said that, it shouldn't be allowed and blah, blah, blah. And the Bible says adamantly.
But that's conditioning as well.
There you go.
So I was saying them things.
Well, I know it's not the same, but I like songs, and I know most gay people love these songs, but I can't sing songs that say like "Bun Chichi Man." When I hear it coming out, it just sounds so ignorant kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I was singing it in my whole chest.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. But you're saying there's an era where
they love that song though. They love them songs.
Yeah, they do.
I think they've almost taken ownership of those songs kind of thing. But when you think about it, imagine at that age, 18, 19, whatever, and you're in a club full of friends who are your friends, who love you, and they're singing songs about people like you. Yeah. You wouldn't feel a lot comfortable coming out to them.
Yeah, but even if you think but now even take race out of it, like you were saying back in the 70s or the 80s, even maybe further, people who are even older than you that were gay or lesbian, could not.
Listen, I grew up through the AIDS epidemic.
There you go.
So do I have to say anything more?
Yeah, no, there you go. Right?
And how it was all their fault.
Yeah. So for you, there's a lot to consider here.
Yeah.
You've come out to you've finally made peace with who you are, your authentic self. And then there's this whole other layer to how do I live my authentic self?
Absolutely. And like you've just said, the layers of friends, family, society,
So how did you navigate that?
So I think, first of all, I have been really blessed with the friends that I have.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so my chosen family. So that was one thing that I knew, no matter what,
they would
always be there.
Yeah.
And then I had to...
Did it help having G?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
G
sure.
being a family member.
Yeah. For sure. And then, the constant having to come out. Constantly having to come out.
I never thought about that.
Everybody I meet, I have to come out.
Oh my gosh,
it's constant.
What, even to today?
Well, you don't have to say, oh, hi.
No, but she's right.
Constant,
very good point.
Right?
It's like you have to come out all the time.
Right. So I got to tell this person. I got to tell that person.
That's crazy.
It's insane, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm having to navigate the fact that, okay, who's gonna have something to say? How am I gonna deal with it? So I eventually decided, you know what, I don't really fucking care about anybody else, actually.
Yeah.
Mostly I just care about myself.
Yeah.
I came out myself, and as long as I'm all right,
That's what matters.
I
Do
don't
you know
really.
what? It's never occurred to me, but actually, as you're saying it, because in my head, you come out once you come out.
No.
But actually, when you deep it, that's an ignorant way to think. Of course.
Because you could, like she just said.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have to tell you
It's
that I'm,
repetitive.
there's a lady in my building, Tracy, Jamaican lady, and she's, she's gay, and she said to me, we were having a conversation, she's there, whatever, and obviously she's a tomboy, I could tell, whatnot, but then after conversations a little bit later, because I'm sure you would have known weeks into, she'd be like, I went, Trace, you don't even need to tell me that after we built up this rapport. But like you've just said, there you go. She's like, she has to fit. I'm like, you don't have to tell me nothing.
I think there's there's some people who, I think what it is I think that's down to how you feel about yourself right now. So I now don't feel like I meet Latifah and say, I'm sure Latifah, I have to tell you that I'm gay.
No.
What I would do, all I do is say, oh yeah, me and my wife.
Done. It's a wrap.
Right?
That's
but
it.
that's because I'm very now confident in myself.
Absolutely.
This is why I've always said I think
I love your
I'm a bit
confidence, by the
ignorant
way.
because in my and you might disagree with me, but I've always said I don't believe in coming out.
Well, unfortunately.
And I'll tell you why. Because I think apart from maybe your parents, maybe giving them the heads up, I do not believe in coming out. And bear with me, what I mean is you should be able to walk into any situation and be like, da-da-da-da-da, and my husband, and someone goes, anyway, da-da-da-da. But I think it's...
that's if homophobia didn't exist, babe.
Yeah, but it's not fair to say...
The thing, with racism, it's a visual thing. A person who's racist can see me coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? It's a
But
visual
you
thing.
can't see, absolutely.
You don't have to come out and say I'm black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should have to tell somebody, and this is just me in a utopian world, I don't think I have to go, I sleep with women to people I don't effing know.
Well, I think now, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Now I don't feel that I need to do any, like for example, I had a new colleague start. And
that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Me to tell you who I sleep with.
No.
It's not business.
It's like,
So I've got a new colleague that started, and so I'm his supervisor, and I'm sort of talking to him about my management style, blah 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 blah, and having a chat, and I was like, yeah, with my wife and my daughter, and carried on. Do you know what I mean? I don't.
Yes.
I have to. It's just a conversation.
You shouldn't have to. Absolutely.
But that's now.
Yeah.
Because do you know what? As I said, I'm confident. I don't really give a fuck about what anybody thinks.
But also that goes down to society that we're saying what's normal, what's deemed that we're just saying Adam and Eve, you were brainwashed with all. Do you got what I'm trying to say? And I think that's why I was just saying, Lou, that you don't have to, but this is why you feel that people have to or explain, because society, it's husband and wife or man and woman, and you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I hear it, but equally I don't feel like everybody deserves to know that much about you.
No, not everybody. And I agree with that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Apart from your family, your close people, I agree.
It's not like I just walk around telling people my business.
No, at all.
I get the wanting to walk into your... And I guess this is where it comes from. People just want to be themselves, isn't it? Like,
I think it's the fact that what I really don't want to have to do is deal with any kind of phobia, because I'm probably going to lose my shit.
Yeah.
I don't really want to lose my shit.
Yeah.
I don't
It's not going to be pretty.
I just don't want to do it. I just want, you know what, if you don't like me, it's also cool.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't need you, you know, Bridget.
yeah. And you know what? It pisses me off that that's even something you have to even worry about.
Well, you know, it's interesting because...
finding out who I am could make you be a see you next Tuesday.
Well, you know, I'm not going to mention any names because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with it yet, but, you know, a conversation was brought to my attention, and within that, you know, a friend of mine who's in the church is still reflective of, well, it's not right by the church's eyes.
And how long has she known you?
For a long time. So...
I find it all really hypocritical.
But I'm a bit like, and I guess that for me, it's not even her so much. That is part of what you're dealing with is you know, the religious connotation of people who say, so even within my family, and my family is quite religious, right? And they believe. Right, they believe. Right now, I've never felt any judgment from them.
Yeah.
But there is that thing that sits in the back of my head that says, I wonder.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because of.
Yeah.
But I can only go by what they present, and
Of
they've
course.
never ever showed me
anything different.
But you do
Yeah,
kind of, and they're always very welcoming, and they've always been very genuine.
Yeah.
But you kind of,
But okay,
or sometimes you're a bit like a fucking puppet, you know, a little dolly.
What do you mean?
Like you're. Oh,
Yeah.
this is my cousin who's gay. Like,
Yeah.
it's the
Almost
whole.
like you're a trophy.
Like,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You can sometimes feel, you can
There you
sometimes
go.
feel a bit like that.
Yeah. People do that to you?
Well, I don't know if it's their intention, but sometimes that's how it can feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Like,
also
I've got a friend that, you know,
yeah, but also,
you know, and
yeah,
you're
but
just
that's
like,
yeah, but you see, even things like that, but this
think that's crazy.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's crazy because you wouldn't have to be saying
I've got a straight friend.
that's the point.
No, but you will
No,
get
I
people
get
that say
it.
I've got a black friend.
Oh yeah. That's
You know
so
what?
true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
You're right.
actually, yeah,
You're
sure
right.
you do.
You're
You
right.
get people saying, yeah, well, I've got lots of black friends.
Yeah.
I think my issue with this whole judgment thing, and I get it's people's religion, and I me characterize, but I'm not an atheist. I have always said this. I believe in God, and I think I'm spiritual. I don't believe in religion because I think
I'm the same.
religion is tainted by people's cultures and people's personal agendas. I've said that for the longest time. So for me, but anyway, let's skip forward from that. I'm very much like there's other things the Bible says. Or most religious materials, they talk about treating people well. They talk about not judging people unless you come to the table with your hands clean. And I think people are very picky about what
applies.
What applies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it says nice and loud, you don't judge people. If you're unless you're sinless, you don't judge nobody. So you're basically saying, I know I sin, but yours is worse.
And just to add to that quickly, and then it's like your very, very, very good point. I was in the gym yesterday, sauna. Then one of the girls says, oh, she's glad she doesn't come in when the other aunties, the whole Asian crew. She said, because all they do is come in and just bitch about everybody, like people they just talk about, right? But you be seeing some of these women in the changing room when it's prayer time with their little mats on the floor doing the whole...
Yeah, it's very contradictory.
Right?
You're not living the life.
You're going to pop in the sauna and you're going to be talking shit about somebody else. Like,
and ironically, they'll think they're good Christians or good Muslims because they pray.
Oh, absolutely, Lou. I grew up in church. Like you said, Mel, you know what I mean? Grew up going, and I just don't go no more because...
I don't like the behaviour. And that's what
hypocritical.
It's
just like, how can I come to church and feel like the people in the church are unwelcoming?
But the thing that is, though, is that you have a lot of gay people who are
in the church,
really
religious, and do believe
religious,
and want to be able to go to church.
Yes.
And have to find a gay-friendly church.
Right. It's a very...
Oh, sorry, an LGBTQI plus friendly church. And that, I think, is outrageous.
It's...
Doesn't it say come as you are?
And you took the... Lou, I was literally... That was going to be my next words. And I was like, there is also the other thing where it's like, come as you are. I accept you. God accepts you and receives you as you are. That's between... If we're going to talk about, like you said, judging, who are you?
Between me and...
Thank you. Let him judge me.
Business.
Yeah, thank you. And that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Yes, it doesn't make sense to somebody else or whatever, but that's not your business.
But I guess also, just in talking about this, there's so many things you've brought up today that, obviously I'm your friend, and I don't look at you as Mel's gay. I look at you as Mel. With a big gob kind of thing. Yeah. But I don't look at Mel's gay. And to me, you're just Mel. Everything else is a part of you, what makes you you, but it's not the essence of you.
Well, and I suppose where I sit is I am just Mel.
Yeah.
You know, I have a wife, I have a child. That's it. But it was a journey to get to just Mel.
I've been very naive to, like, the fact that you said I had to keep coming out. I'm like, oh damn, snap.
Yeah, exactly.
And every time you come out, it's a little bit traumatic.
I was just going to say,
because
it's a little bit like, oh my God, what if they don't like what
yes,
and to keep doing that.
Yes, yeah.
It's difficult
because a part of it is a part of asking
trauma.
for acceptance every time
because you're reliving
continually ask for acceptance.
Yeah. So it's now I feel.
So did your brother know?
No, well, I'm really quite.
The face you made.
I'm really quite. I like to do things not at the best time. So I think when I told Tex, it was a day before I was having a party, and the girl that I was seeing was upstairs in my bedroom.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, I got something to tell you. Guess what? I'm gay.
No, just like that.
And I just guess what? And he was like, okay.
How old was he?
He was
obviously 7 years younger than you.
So he was completely oblivious.
yeah, but that's sex. He can be quite, which is great. He doesn't form opinions, you know. Anyways. And he was like, when I came out to my mum.
Yes, that was the next question.
The day before her mum's funeral.
Oh my gosh.
And I sat down and I was just like, I do.
You really pick your moments.
I'm guessing something about your grandmother dying made you want to be.
No, it was.
No, it's very matter of fact.
No, it never had nothing to do with that. It was because I didn't want her to find out from someone else.
Okay.
And by this time, there was a lot of people that knew.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want her to find out.
You're protecting her a little bit.
So I have to tell.
You just said, Mum?
Yeah, we were sitting down. The night before the funeral, and I was sort of saying to her, so, Mum, you know I don't like guys, right? And she's like, don't worry, you'll meet someone. I'm like, no. I don't really like guys. Yeah, well, you know, sometimes I'm not nice, but you'll meet. I'm like,
I can imagine her as well.
Okay. So, Mum, I like women. Oh, okay.
I bet you held your breath in that moment.
And then she cried.
Oh, no.
And then she said she just didn't want any harm to come to me.
Yeah.
She didn't want, she lives in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So she's going by the
being
how it's-
exposed to sick. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say something? And I think 15, I'm 40 now. So if you'd asked me 15 years ago when in my 20s, how would I feel about my child being gay? I would have said I would prefer that they're not. Not because I'm homophobic, because you're already black.
The things
You're already a woman.
the struggles.
And you just want life to be easier for your child. Now it's a different answer because I don't necessarily think that it'd stop them in any single way. I would assume
It shouldn't do.
Do you know what I mean?
Shouldn't do.
Because
In fact,
of where
actually,
society
for a lot,
is today.
It's a plus.
Now you got
right?
extra DEI.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember saying coming out to some of my friends, these are friends that I'd been to school with, but hadn't seen them for a while. And they're like, why are you gay? And I was a bit like,
why am I gay?
How do you answer why?
I almost wanted to say to them, I don't know why. Why are you straight?
How do you answer
So
why?
I read once about chemical imbalances
and they was like, and I had to actually say to them, this is not a choice. I did not choose this.
No.
I said, if I had a choice, right, probably I would have chosen to be straight.
Yeah.
Right? Because life would have just been a bit
It's just
easier.
easier.
This is not a choice.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh. And then I just had to say, you know what? This is...
Was that hurtful?
Yes, but hurtful in the sense that you're meant to be my friends.
Yeah.
Right? This has come from a place of, I can get what you felt while you're asking these questions. I think they were probably disappointed, probably shocked, probably would have rather that I wasn't gay, quite possibly slightly homophobic. Like all of those things.
Yeah.
But it wasn't coming
and that's what I'm picking up.
But it wasn't coming from a place of concern for you.
I didn't think so. It could be, but that's not how it came across.
Yeah, you know when it's in genuine,
you know what I
when
mean?
your
'Cause you
intention,
can almost
absolutely.
Accept certain behaviours when it's coming for
This
the
is it.
betterment of
Exactly.
you or a
if
place
your
of care.
intentions are from a caring place and you felt that we care, you know what I'm trying to say? But whereas it's just like, hold on a minute, they're trying to work it out for themselves or
it's
like
not,
you've just
you're
said,
making their lives a little bit
difficult. It's like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, why do you but
It's not about you,
it's
darling.
not you who has, it's not.
Did you get a lot of that when you came out?
I think I got a fair bit of that and a fair bit of me having to some extent saying to them, not only that it's not my choice, but actually if I had a kid, I would rather they not be because I'd feel their life would be easier. And then they go, oh, okay, then I think I get that you'd rather. Okay, maybe
maybe
it's
that
not
makes
a choice.
the most. Yeah,
Was that from family? Who's that from?
Actually, most are from friends though. Or not from family, and not my chosen family. So from the more extended.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then, for instance, so I don't know.
I remember my goddaughter finding out because with my godchildren, I said to my godparents, I said to all their parents, you have the choice to tell them because they're young and you might not be prepared for this conversation now, right?
Even that.
And
sorry,
all these
you don't
things.
think about these.
Check it. I've never had to give that even a thought.
Yeah. So, and I remember my eldest goddaughter, she called me after a month. Auntie, I just want to tell you that I love you. And I'm so proud of you.
You're the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Of course. Again,
we still kind of get on, and all of them All of them, it's never been a problem.
And that's great. But
And I've got a lot of them.
But kids are beautiful like that, aren't they?
But I think
they're not
it's a
tainted.
testament to you, and it goes back to what I was saying about as a person. Do you know what I mean? Who you are. It's like, don't judge you because, oh, I'm gay.
Here's the thing with
stupid?
you. Like,
Mel's
choosing not
just-
to like you for that reason, personally, for me, it means the other person misses out.
Well, I was going to say, it's going to be their loss.
Totally,
I'm a great person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Watch out, she look at the wife like, you dig?
And I think that, I mean, I can only speak to you because I know you, but I would assume that's the same for any person who's trying to come out.
absolutely.
Because for me, I'm like, choosing, if I had made a choice that I don't like you now, but bear in mind, I met you as Mel. I liked you as Mel. And then I find this out about you and I go, oh no.
Exactly, Lou.
I'm the loser there.
And it doesn't make any sense. How can you go from liking someone and getting on with someone?
Thank you.
It doesn't make
Especially
any
as
sense.
realistically, it's got nothing to do with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what?
nothing
And
to do with you.
for whatever your belief structure, if it's because of a religion, right, I'm going to be the one that's going to be judged. So you don't have to worry about
you
that.
being judged. Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm the one that's got to face
But see,
whoever I'm
even
going to
that
face.
goes
Yo,
back to we're so
Agree.
quick to just judge. We're human beings.
But that's human
That's what I'm
beings
saying.
are-
Human beings are just mental.
No,
You know
but
what?
human beings, they are the animal part that believe that you've got to be in different boxes, you've got to have different labels. Anything different is a target, and it has always been that way with human
Absolutely.
beings. History dictates
But
that.
I think
It's also a way
that's
of
to do with
superiority. It's also
The history
yes.
dictates that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so whether it's the whole Aryan race thing, whether it's beyond that, where the Sumerians felt that they were superior, or the Mayans, or the Incas, or the Egyptians,
Oh gosh,
Nigerians.
yes.
right? It has always been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Way,
It is.
way before slavery, it has always
Oh,
been
absolutely.
Let me tell you something about the trickle down effect. I joined a lot of weight loss online groups for support.
Uh-huh.
Even in there, people will find a way to prejudge each other, to put other people down. Human nature is they
you told
cannot
me some of
help.
the things you told me. I'm just like,
But
really?
they can't help but to always try and subdivide. And there's this thing about human beings always trying to feel like they're better than.
Mm.
And it shows up in so many different ways.
Mhm. It really, really does.
So in some ways, it's not a surprise.
No, because it's human nature, and that's always going to be part of life.
jarring, though.
And yeah,
Bloody
it
jarring.
fully
Especially when
is
something has nothing
to do with you.
Ah,
To do with
sure.
you. Would you be willing to come on and talk a bit more in depth about your story? Yeah?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more to share with
Yeah,
you,
a lot
Mel.
more layers.
A lot more
Yeah.
layers. And
Full of them.
we need a part 2 to this.
Absolutely.
You know, yeah. So that would be absolutely wonderful if you can come back and give
Absolutely.
us another. And, you know, and again, I think we do this to
Hear normal stories.
exactly, but just to let people know, say, you know, if you're going through something, here's a bit of guidance.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Mel, just in closing.
Mm.
If there's a little black girl right now
Mm.
in the bosom of her family,
Mm.
struggling with who she is,
Mm.
what was the one bit of advice?
There
you
we
would
go.
give?
What would I say to my younger self?
Oh,
Even better.
better.
I think I would say to my younger self, actually, I would have probably. Now, there's so many agencies out there. Go and speak to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not someone that you know. That might be better,
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't have to go around telling people yet, but go and have a conversation with someone, right? To be able to talk about how you feel. Because if you keep it in, the only person you're going to damage is yourself.
100%. Well
That's
said.
what I would say. And there's plenty of organizations that you can go and speak to now anonymously,
Mhm.
right? That's what I would say. Go and do that. And then from there, you hopefully will gain some strength to make some decisions when you're good and ready.
One more question. When did you realise it was okay to be you? What was that breakthrough?
I think probably looking back, if I'm probably really truthful, I think maybe when I got to about my 30s, which is why I always say if I was going to stick at an age, be about 30, 35. I think that's the point when it wasn't okay, it's okay to be me, but it was also I don't really care about what anybody else thinks.
That's big, you know.
So it was twofold.
Yeah.
I don't care, and that is everybody.
Yeah.
Family,
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Right. Ultimately, I am the most important person in my life.
Agreed.
That's it. That's
And
it. I love
if
that
I
about
can
you.
keep myself importance, then everybody else that's an extension, my wife, my kid, will be fine.
Yeah.
But if I'm not the most important person, I will be so damaged.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. I think a lot of people think that sounds...
And that's
It's-
just in
it's not
general. That's not even to
self-seated.
do
It's
with
not.
or because you're... No, that's just a life lesson. That's
I like
to
to
me, that's
liken
a
it
life
to, you know, the
lesson.
example of a plane when you get on and they say,
Fasten your seat. I
Put
mean,
the
you're
oxygen
oxygen
mask on
mask
yourself
yourself.
before you help anybody else.
Always.
I like to liken it to that for me. It's like, if I don't take care of me first,
Absolutely.
I can't
Yeah.
I
help
live by
anybody
that
else.
motto, as
and
you know.
and I learned a long time ago that in order to heal, it had to be purely about me, nobody else but me.
Mhm.
And then to be happy, which ultimately I'm incredibly happy and content,
Love that.
it had to be about me.
Yeah.
And everything else is just an extension.
Did you have to give a lot of people grace?
I think part of me being happy is giving grace, right? So if you
You're just
upset
letting
me,
it, allowing
I've
it.
got a bit of a temper. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. But I try my ultimate not to hold it. So if you do me something, I'll be like, right. You know, I might, ideally, I can call you off and get it off my chest.
Yeah.
And then it's all good because it's
I'm the
gone.
same.
Right?
Mhm.
And I don't hold it.
Yeah.
Right? I might not talk to you again, but it's not because I'm angry with you. It's because actually I think me and you don't have what I thought we had in common.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Fair, and that's
I don't
fine
wish
too.
you any ill will.
Absolutely.
I hope you have a great life. In fact, I hope, you know, I want the best for you.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe we're just not aligned. And that's fine.
Mhm.
A lot of people miss out on that part, that last bit. That's fine.
Fine.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Exactly.
And that's
That's
okay.
okay.
Because I'm not going to be, listen, I'm not going to align with everybody and everybody's not going to align with me.
you.
It's cool. But I absolutely, but I try not to hold malice and actually just, and actually life is good because I do that. Life is, it's fine. I don't,
love that.
I go in, I don't really think about, and you know, I don't have none of this grey black clouds thinking about, you know, somebody upsets me at work, deal with it at work. Come on.
It's left there.
Yeah.
You
You know,
know, love
what
that.
if I'm on the street and somebody upsets me, hopefully I can deal with it there. And I come home and I might just rant and tell.
I'll talk about it,
Oh,
but
blah 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 blah. But it's kind of gone, really.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's just a great way to be. That's why she's my sister. chosen family because of that. And that's the thing. It's like I resonate so much with your mindset and how you think and
You've
you know
been a
your
breath of
struggles
fresh air,
she has.
honestly, Mel. I think I've got a lot from this conversation. Like, there's so many things that, you know, you don't think about what other people are going through sometimes. You see things through your own lens kind of thing. And that's helping me be a better person and be a more thoughtful person. So thank you.
Love that.
Yeah, we'll see you again for part 2.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming on. As we said, there's definitely more. Definitely. I think we can share to just encourage others and inspire others to let them know that they're not alone. You know, and we can all make through and have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
On that note,
you've been watching The Breakthrough. I'm Lou.
Clara.
And this is Mel.
Mel.
Peace. See you
We'll see you
next time.
Bye.
Bye.